The second part of the Squid Game series begins with Song's team as he tries to pull the rope against the opposing team before he falls from the height they are on. This will be one of 6 games that must be won, and those who will die if they lose, and Sang will see that they will lose. So by the time he passes, he will advance by 3 steps forward, and Ping are about to knock down the opponent's team, and they quickly come back pulling the rope, and Song's team wins and the other team dies, and the whole team returns the second to the dormitory, and player number 212 will look at the thug, and he will say goodbye to one of them because he betrayed her and refused to join him in her team and hit her. And this is because he knew that the game was... It's a tug of war coming from Dr. No. 111, who has recruited people from the same game in the organ trade in exchange for them helping him learn about the upcoming games, and he gets more food. Sung's team returns to the bottom in a second, and it appears on the screen that only 40 players remain, and the cash prize has become 41,600,000,000. Then, player number 212 introduces herself to them and tells them that her name is Hanmi, and she is happy that she has joined their team. They are still half an hour away from turning off the lights and going to sleep, and they say that they are building something similar to a shelter so that no one will kill them while they are sleeping. Then the thug comes to tell Sung that if he thinks that what he is doing will protect those from... He keeps lying to himself, but Sung tells him that he must take care of his first team, because the traitor comes from near and far, and they read to his team, and he tells them that they will sleep tonight and there will be no killing, and that the doctor has disappeared, and he knows that he went to the bathroom early, and the doctor will be in his hideout with the rest. Members of the game team, in order to remove the members from the game and sell them, and with them is one in the terror room to hide their presence from the cameras. And they can be joined by Officer Huang, whose brother disappeared in this game, and decided to enter inside them as a spy to find out what they're going to do. And they are unable to determine his identity because he is wearing an invisible mask. It seems that the doctor is completing the operations he is performing, and the thug is in the bedroom, unable to sleep due to his lack of trust in those around him. He keeps waiting for the doctor, who is supposed to do all this in the bathroom. At that time, the doctor is explaining the dead person in front of him, and he remains in control of his nerves until he finds out that he is the one who is required to be transported. The organs outside the island are for the merchants, and the doctor tells them that the dead person has only 1 kidney, and he tells them that this will be a reason for reducing the money, and he hands all the organs to Huang in a bag, and he moves through a secret passage for 100 minutes, and the one with Huang becomes suspicious of him and threatens him and asks him to take off the mask. But Huang succeeds. He smuggles a gun with him and threatens those in front of him with it, telling him that they are the cause of his brother's death and that he is the one with 1 kidney because the second kidney his brother donated to him. But the hypothesis before him is that the person who took his kidney was a woman, not a man, and that if he wants any information about any player, he should go to his room. The commander will find a list of all their names and personal information, and before he finishes his words, Huang kills him and eliminates him. At the same time, the doctor tries to escape from the place he is in until he feels like he is in the games hall, and a member of the team runs after him and tries to convince him that he must return to his bed. Otherwise, they will all get into trouble. But the leader appears behind them, and they are both killed because of their betrayal of the place. And the leader begins to investigate everything that happened regarding the sale of organs until he reaches the secret passage that contains oxygen cylinders. And Bella finds a man killed in the water, and Bidakor finds a traitorous person alive. And this is because all the oxygen cylinders are present. That is to say, no one has escaped from the island, and Huang will then be able to reach the commander's office through the air vents, reach the file store, and spend from 1999. This means that the Squid Game has been running from 1999 until the present time, and Huang will continue to search for files until he reaches the file for 2020 and search for his brother's name, but he will not find it. He sees the list of winners in all the past years, and only one person is the one who wins, and the player dies. He writes that his brother participated in the game in 2015 and won the award, and he goes to the 2015 players file, and his brother's name is actually among them. And the whole place is searched for individual number 29, who is missing from Thieling. He is sleeping in his room, but no one finds him because he is in the leader's storeroom, and the fourth game is being announced. On their way to the game hall, they find 5 people, including the doctor, killed and hanging from their hands. And you learn that this is the punishment for those who try to distort or betray the game. And they all go to the players' hall, and the game will be played by all teams. A team of only 2 people, and he loves Sang with Ali, and Son does not know how to bring me together, and a player tries to convince him to play with him, and this is because they were 40 people, but after the death of the doctor, they remained 39. This means that there is someone who will remain alone and will not play and will be eliminated, and it will most likely be the old man. So Sung decided that a team is made with the old man, and the only one who prefers alone is Hanmi. All teams move to a different hall, and the players of the game take Hanmi. All the players are distributed to places near the neighborhood. Each player takes 10 marbles in his hand. The only rule that exists is that the winner is the one who takes his partner's marbles and is left with 20 marbles. Winner and his partner lose without violence, and they have only 30 minutes to finish the game, and each team begins to invent the game they will play with marbles, whether by betting or guessing the number of dice in the hand, whether odd or even, but the old man refuses to play marbles and prefers to walk around the place until Son says. They have to play, and the one who is going to die together, and he tells him that he is happy that he will play with him, and that he will call him by the name Jumbo, which means his friend and partner in the game, and they play singles and doubles, and he loses me 9 billy balls from his hand, and he looks at San winning to some extent. Sang is terrified that he might die, and he tells me that the game is impossible to kill team, and that they must kill only one person, and it is possible for both of them to live, and then the game will be completed, and they will play other teams, and so on. And the most important step now is that they are looking for weak players who are unable to play, and Ali agreed with what he said, and they say that they will separate from each other and choose the teams tightly, and Sang offers him that he will not flesh. He prefers to hold the marbles in his hand, and if he hangs them around his neck, it would be better, and makes him a cloth to hang around his neck. But he replaces Ali's marble bag with his own, without anyone taking care of it. And with time running out, Sung is forced to take advantage of the old man's increased Alzheimer's condition and make him lose the marbles he lost. He has only 1 pair of nuts with him. And then Sanj takes out the billiard he has, which is stolen from Ali, and presents it to the guard. He goes outside the hall, and they see Ali coming out of the hall, and he doesn't understand how he won. He opens the bag he has and finds a lot of slips in it, and he understands that Sanj lied to him, and Ali will die, and it will be. Kang is playing with a girl, and after the girl learns her story, she decides to give up the marbles she has in order for Kang to win and return to her little brother who is in the nursing home. And Son continues running after the old man until the old man arrives at a place that looked like his home in the past. And he keeps telling his memories to Son and thanking the old man for his motivation. And he played with him, and I had the last billiard in his hand, and he told him that it was the best jumbo he had played with in a while. And the old man died, and the dead were taken to the crematorium. And the leader became nervous because Huang had not yet been arrested. And he quickly asked to search for him before the important figures came, and the rest of the players returned to the sleeping hall, and they were unable to find him. Hanmi is still alive. She didn't die because she didn't play, so it was useless. She was killed for no reason. And it appears on the screen that there are only 17 players left. When the commander returns to his room, he finds a different headphone cord from the last time he left, and he understands that the intruder is in his room, and he begins to search the place himself, arriving at the warehouse before he can. He finds a phone call saying that there is a dead body on the shore of the island, so he goes to it and does not think about Huang. When he goes to the seashore, they find a dead person with a police card, and his name is Huang. This is the same person from whom Huang stole his clothes in the first place, put his card in his pocket, and threw it off the ship. 6 people come wearing golden masks, and they bother the leader and ask to meet their host. But the leader tells them that the host will not be able to come with them due to Tariq's circumstances. But the important thing is that the games will be played as usual. And all of this will be while Huang is listening while he is hiding in the air vent. And the Squid Game will be a rubber toy for adults. The businessmen will be able to see everything that happened on the screens of their homes and sing about the person who will win the game. And the businessmen will be distributed to their leaders until the next game. And Huan Jun will be able to wear the waiter's uniform after he beats him and turn on his mobile phone that is disconnected from the network to record a video and hide in the suit he is wearing and wake up. Players are informed that one of them hanged himself because he lost his wife in the game of Billy. And the number of players is reduced to 16 players. An announcement is made on the 5th game, and it moves to the games hall, and 16 statues are placed in front of them, and they are asked to each one of them choose a statue and take the number on it, and they will be businessmen. They watch them, and after the majority of them choose the middle numbers, it is said to the rest of the players that these numbers are the order of their roles in the next game. Beirut Son and Peter Deed take one number, and the first one remains to play and not the last one. And it may be that there is no time for it, but all the second numbers are taken except the first. And the last one keeps standing in front of number 1 until a player with number 96 comes to him and tells him that he wants to take the first number so that he can remain first in anything in his life, because all his life he has been the last. And Son agreed to give him the number 1, and he takes the number 16 and moves to the 5th game hall, and they are there. In front of them is a glass bridge that every player must cross. The bridge is made up of large glass squares, and there are 2 types of glass: reinforced glass that can support the player's weight, and regular glass. Once you stand on it, the player will fall down and die because of the height. Why will the first player start and die on the second step? Why will the second player come and think that she is taking a right step? 1 step to the north, but it falls on the 3rd step, and the rest of the players start to enter behind each other, and Sung is safe that all the tiles in front of him will be revealed. And there is a problem due to the consumption of time and the slowness of the game, and the player goes down to number 6 to pray, and more time is wasted for the one behind him until someone fights with him. But the players... He throws the number 6 from the buzzer board in front of him and your house and continues. He runs on the second board and keeps the players falling until the thug is the first one and tells the one before him that he will not move, not even a single step. And whoever wants to pass him, thus ensuring that he will not die until he sleeps. In front of her, she dies, and she is the one behind the thug. And then she tells him that she is the one who will pass in front of him. And the first time she comes to his side, she hugs him and tells him that she promised him that if he betrayed her, she would not leave him. And in fact, she will not leave him. And she bounces on him, and they both die. And the number of players is reduced to only 4, and the first of them will be a player who has worked in a glass factory for 30 years. He identifies the reinforced glass through the refraction of light on it, and as soon as the leader takes care of this, he turns off the light on them so that the player can rely only on luck. A phone comes to the leader saying that one of the businessmen has fainted in his room, and he understands that the intruder is still there, and the leader goes to his room so he finds out that tough lizing. There is a trace when the ventilation is opened, and he looks into it. I see Huang running away, and we go back to the game, and the time is almost up, and it hurts Sang that he throws what is in front of him at the buzzer, and it breaks with it, and the player dies. And he, Song, and Kangana pass the game, and as soon as the time is up, all the buzzer souls in front of them are blown up, and the leader orders a search. About the intruder in the water, and that he must be arrested after escaping from the island. The players return to the sleeping hall, and there are only 3 beds in it according to their number. A masked person comes to tell them that they have reached this stage and tells them that they are in for a surprise. They will go after they put on the suit in front of them, and it is revealed that Kang was hit by a piece of plastic. The moment the bombing happened, sumptuous food was being served to them, and while they were eating, Huang was being chased to the island where he arrived and trying to send videos and pictures to his boss and the police. But he was surrounded at the letter of the island, and the commander came to him and told him that the gun he had only 1 bullet left in it, and he shot it. Huang is on the leader's shoulder, and the leader approaches him and leaves his mask in front of him. The leader tells him that he is his brother and asks him to surrender himself. But Huang refuses, so his brother hits him with bullets, and he falls off the edge of the island into the water and dies from his brother, who was already inside this place because he turned around and tried. He saves him, and after the players have finished eating, they are handed a knife, and they return to the bedroom with the knife. Song Kang goes and tells her that it is clear that she is injured and that he is not coming to kill her, and he wants them to be a team against Sang, because after what he did on the bridge, he can no longer trust him, and she asks Kang that he lives. After the last game, he cares about his second family and breaks up like that, but she faints because she lost a lot of blood, so Song comes to the gate and asks the team to help Kang to some extent. The gate opens and they enter a coffin, and Sung looks up and sees Sang, who slaughtered Kang and killed her. And only 2 players remain, and they are Sung. Sung and the 6th and final game begins, which is the Squid Game, and they draw lots among themselves to find out who is defending and who is attacking. Sung comes out and tells them that the attack is the comparison. He must enter the squid's drawing, bypass the defense, and step on the squid's head in order to win. And if the defender is able to expel the attacker outside the drawing, then he remains the one. The winner? If a circumstance arises and someone is unable to finish, he will object, and Song, outside the drawing, will start bouncing on one leg until he is unable to enter it. As soon as Song gets close to him, Song throws sand from the ground in his face, and Song is able to cross the inside of the drawing and walk on both legs so that he can be faster and hear himself. With the secret inspector, they ask Song the reason for killing the Kang, and they say that they could have voted to end the game, and the majority was with them, so he had to ensure that they would finish so that he could win and take all the money. And Song began to attack him with the drawing's atmosphere, and each one tried to kill the other with the knife that he had with him, until each one of them fell. He and men, except workers, watched them. And Song hits Sang and knocks him to the ground. He washes the cloth next to his head and says that he will not kill him. He approaches the squid's head before he stands on it. He goes back to the guard present and tells him that he will surrender and will not finish the game, and that Sang will surrender with him, and they tell the commander that Song wants to cancel. The game does not finish, and it does not download completely, but before it is approved by Sang, he grabs the knife next to him and takes care of himself with it, while it is free. Before he dies, he advises Song to his mother that he should take care of her, and Song wins the game prize, which is worth 45,600 million. For the first time, Song is able to speak. With the leader, Anho tells the leader that for them it is a horse race, and only big businessmen are betting on it. and Sung and Peter Mi are drugged in the street, and they are in a Visa card bag. And as soon as they win, he goes to see how much money is in his account and enters the password, which is 0, A, S, and F. Their numbers were not in the game, and Bella found all the money in his account. He returns home and meets his father, Song, and she sees that he looks miserable, so she buys him food from her and his mother's eyes. When he reaches Song home, he finds that his mother has died on the floor due to her diabetes, and he is a year old, and Song is almost homeless. He does not spend any money from what he has, to the point that he borrows money from the bank owner, who asks to meet him to reassure him that he is fine, because his account has a large amount of money and no withdrawals occur from it. One day, he is sitting by the sea and next to an old woman, begging him to take flowers from her before he gets sick. He took a rose, and Bella was in an envelope with it from the Squid Game. And there was a date and address written on it from someone whose name was the word that he had agreed upon with the old man while playing Billy. He went to the address on the card, and Bella found that the old man was sleeping on the bed in the hospital, and how he was taking advantage of Song. He is still alive, and they say that he is behind everything that happened. And they ask why he is cursing him alive, but the old man does not care about what he says. He says that he wants to play one last game, and looking in the street, he finds a poor man drunk and thrown away. And he tells the old man that if the man stays in his place, at midnight, he will win. But if someone comes to help him, Song will win and change. If he plays with him, he will answer the question, and Song tells him that he agrees, and he stays for a third of an hour until midnight, telling the old man that what the poor and rich people have in common is that they are not comfortable. His job was to look for something that the rich would enjoy, and here came the idea of playing the Squid Game with its 6 toys, until he decided that he was playing a game and met him at that time, and he answered his question. He saved his life because he enjoyed playing with him and brought back memories of his childhood. Before the clock struck 12, the police came and the poor man helped him. Song won the bet with the old man, but the old man died on his bed, and he left Song and walked away, and the old man revealed that he was the host for the men. He asked for work and excused himself before he came because he had had enough of the fun and did not participate in the game itself. And Baker Sung changes his appearance and finds Kang's brother, who is in the nursing home, and asks for his care. He hands it over to Sang's mother so that she can raise him and take care of him. She has a bag full of money in her hand to take care of herself and your young child, and he calls. He tells his daughter that he is coming for her and has a nice gift for her. He is at the train station and sees the first person he played with in front of him. The reason is that he is participating in the Squid Game, and he tries to run after Ra to catch him. But he runs away in the first drop in front of him, and Bella is with the man who is playing card games with him. He knows that the game continues and does not stop until the old man dies, and Song moves to the airport to go to his daughter in America, and he has the game card that he took from the man. And before he gets off the plane, he calls the number on the card and tells them that he is not a horse and wants to know how they are able to commit all these crimes. And then he comes back again and calls. Someone is on the mobile phone and tells him that he knows that he is player number 456, and they advise him to take the plane in front of him and enjoy the money and completely forget what happened. But he tells them that he will not be able to forgive them, and he closes the train and does not board the plane.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the Sam Bubbles family. Activate the bell and write to us what is your favorite series or movie.